Hi there, this is Tracy Johnson from the Facebook group Learn to Make Cheese. I'm often asked, when do I vacuum seal and how do I dry? Well, this is how I dry. I bought a cake, I ate the cake, it was yummy, and now I use the dome of the cake with some straws underneath so that you've got some air movement, and I dry on paper towel. I know this is controversial, but this is how I do it. So to know if it's dry enough, we're on day 3 now, I will place a paper towel on the cheese and leave it there for about 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes has passed. Now, when you lift the paper towel, it should be dry. There should be no moisture on there at all. It should be dry. That says to me the cheese is now ready to go in the vacuum sealer. Okay, so this is a farmhouse cheddar that I've made with some chives. I've got some annatto in there as well for the colour. You can see it's starting to dry around the edges here, which is awesome. Before that gets too advanced or before it causes any mould, I want to get it in my vacuum sealer. I have a Food Saver model, which I love because it has the option to seal or to vacuum and then seal. My previous one didn't have that and it was a real pain. Okay, so this is the model I have. Don't ask me what the model number is. I've got no clue. Anyway, the roll stays inside it. You pull out a little, get it to the line here, which is the hot line. Close it down. Lock it ready, and then hit seal. And what this does is it forms the bottom of my bag. My previous vacuum sealer didn't have one of those, and you had to kind of fold the bag and try and twist it so that it would actually form a seal, because if it can vacuum and there's air coming in, it won't seal. So this model is awesome because it has that option, and I would always recommend that you go for one that has that option. So we're done. And it's formed my seal. And then you pull out however much of the bag you need, and there's a little cutty thing here, and you just snip, and you have your bag. Okay, I'm going to cause all manner of controversy here because I've cut my cheese up. Contrary to what you might believe, because I helped to run a cheese page, we don't eat that much cheese. So I'm sealing, I've cut the wheel into 8. I'm sealing 2/8, so 1/4 of the cheese, into each of my backpack bags. It makes it easier for me to open one, and then I can either reseal one and use one, or I can take and go if I'm going to someone's house, back when we used to go to people's houses. Anyway, so you need the open end of the bag to go into your little trough here, and there's no way I can do that one-handed. And the magic of television, here we go. So I've got the open end in my little trophy thing, or by my little trophy thing, and then obviously the heating bar is along here. So we close the lid, put it into lock position, and then we're going to hit vacuum seal. The thing I love about vacuum sealing cheese is you can see it. I can see there's no mold spots. If the bag suddenly fills up with air, I can see that. If the bag suddenly fills up with whey, I can see that. So I can then take it out of the bag, re-dry it, and re-vacuum seal it. If you leave whey in the bag, you can cause bitterness in your cheese, which you don't want to do. So there we go. 1/4 of my farmhouse wheel, all nicely vacuum sealed. It doesn't actually stick together. The line down the middle where the 2 wedges are, it won't stick together there. You're fine. Okay, now that you've vacuum sealed, you can see all of my little wedgies. Some cheeses I do vacuum seal whole, but very, very rarely. We have my bacon Gouda up the top there. I have disabled the freezer action, so it isn't freezing that. That's perfectly fine. I have a lemon farmhouse. We have some Caerphilly. What I would say is when you write on the edge of the packaging. That's probably better. Yeah. Right on the edge of the packaging, not directly on top of the cheese. We have had members who have had an issue with Sharpie actually traveling through the plastic and marking their cheese. So what I write on my bags, Guido's and Chives, 7th of November, 19. So also that one's ready. That one's well ready. As you can see, I've got them all crammed in, higgledy-piggledy, they're all everywhere. And they like to fall out. you don't have to turn your vacuum sealed cheeses. You don't have to baby them. You don't have to worry about your humidity. The temperature is static in my cave anyway, so I don't worry too much about it. I just put them in there, forget them. I go through probably once a week and just check nothing has blown a seal. And if it has, I pull it out and re-dry, as I was saying earlier. And it's just in there ready for when I need some cheese. Another great thing about cutting your cheese before you vacuum seal it. Nom, 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 nom. So that's it. I think you'll agree that vacuum sealing is the laziest way to store your cheese once you've made it, which is fine by me. I'm busy. I have a farm, I have kids. I don't have time to look at every day and flip every day my cheeses. I've done natural rind, I've done waxing. It was like a massacre. I've never tried cloth banding, but that's on my list to try. And if you can find a way that's convenient for you to keep your cheese safe, you go for it.